Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It is Lisa B here. So wherever you are in the world, hi. Happy New Year to everybody. And I hope you had a good one, and I also hope you had a fantastic Christmas. It is the 2nd of January, 2026. I came across this video. Now, I haven't watched it, but what made me want to review this was the comments. I was not angry. I was frustrated at the comments. Most of them were from men, but I do understand why the comments are like that. I can get it. Anyway, the best thing to do, I think, is what I want to do is I want to watch the video, comment on it as per usual, and then when the video is finished, because it is just a short one, I then want to just have a look at some of the comments and then want to just respond to them. So let's do what we always do. Let's get stuck straight in. Let's give this a watch and let's see what.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Carol. Thanks for watching. I love answering questions. Not long ago, a very frustrated husband reached out. He said, Dr. Carol, my wife and I have had a happy marriage for 23 years until about 4 years ago. Ever since she entered menopause, it's like she's becoming a different person.
Right, so what? 2 seconds in and I have to stop it. So that man had wrote in regarding his wife and saying that when she went into menopause, it was like she became a different person. She has become a different person. It's almost like menopause is a stranger that takes over your body and your mind. So it's basically, it's almost like somebody takes your kind of whole soul and brain away from you and replaces it with somebody else. So can you imagine how confusing that is for us women? You know, I've been this certain sassy, mouthy, quite quirky, I hope, person for 46, 7 years. And then all of a sudden, menopause came along and bam, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who this person was living in my brain. So if you know, yes, you don't, you know, you think your wife's changed. Can you imagine how frightening it is for us? We are going through this change and we are going through all these mental thoughts that, you know, and the way our mind thinks now, we've never thought like that. So as much as it's frustrating for you guys, it is scary for us. Okay. Anyway, I just had to say that.
She used to be very sexually responsive and would often initiate intimacy. Now she does everything she can to avoid sex, and I'm having a real hard time with this. A couple of my guy friends at church are also struggling with similar issues with their wives. We need some help. Well, Gary, can I call you Gary? Many husbands notice some changes in their wives as they go through the menopause transition. If I were talking to your wife, I'd have a number of things to say, but I'm talking to you. As her husband, let me just give you a moment of insight and a couple suggestions about what you can do to hopefully improve things. The hormone changes your wife experiences going through menopause, especially the drop in estrogen, affect her physically, emotionally, and otherwise. Physically, those changes often result in intercourse becoming uncomfortable, perhaps even painful. And you can imagine how much a mood killer physical pain can be for your wife. Libido often changes at menopause, sometimes down, but sometimes up. Your wife probably also takes longer to warm up. It takes her longer to become aroused and able to move forward with intimacy. The emotional component of the menopause transition is also very heavy for many women. She may feel old for the first time. She may feel like life is passing her by. Going through this transition may make her worried about her health, may bring up thoughts of her own mortality, concerns about the other people around her. The stress level many women are carrying at this time of life is also very heavy. Your wife may be dealing with multiple generations, aging parents, children growing up and leaving home, maybe children struggling in various ways. There may be issues going on at work with job changes. She may be concerned about retirement, financial stability. There may be other things going on in the relationship between you and her. You may say, well, what do all those things have to do with sex? For you as a man, you may have sex in its very important compartment. For your wife, it's much less compartmentalized. Everything about her impacts her interest in and ability to engage in intimacy. Her fatigue level, her energy level, her general level of physical well-being, the other elements of your relationship, even her own spiritual life, other things that people say and do and what's happening around her in the world, all of those impact your wife's interest and ability in intimacy. So what can you, as her husband, do? I have 3 suggestions. First of all, I encourage you to talk with your wife openly and caringly and listeningly about these issues. Be sure to listen. Let your wife know how important this issue is to you. Make your heart a safe place where your wife can explore and talk about and deal with all these many issues she's probably dealing with at this time in her life. Second, if your wife has not had a recent medical evaluation, help her do that. Many of the symptoms that happen at menopause can be helped with appropriate treatment. Especially the physical pain or discomfort with intimacy can often be helped with vaginal estrogen. It's possible that...
Guys, and I am aiming this at you, especially after some of the comments that I've read. And again, I understand the sexual frustration. I get it for men. It's a little bit different. I think sex for a man and a woman is very different, or it is for me. I look at sex. I look at sex in my marriage when I was married. I am currently going through divorce. It was an intimate thing. It was a thing of showing how much I loved my husband and how much I wanted to be loved. And with men, it is just a lot of the time it's that quick raw bam bam bam, which is fine. I'm not slating it because sometimes I like a bit of a quick wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. But yeah, I think it's when you imagine if this was painful, if to have sex for you guys was painful, would you still want to do it? I bet the answer would be no if it physically was painful for you. Think about that, especially to those who have commented again, which I'm going to go through after this.
That may make a huge difference for her and for you. And third, I encourage you to romance your wife all over again. She needs to know that you still want her. She needs to hear from you that she is still number one to you. She needs your encouragement. Be sure to pray for her as well. Don't see yourself as fixing your wife. You can't do that.
No.
But as her husband and as her best friend, as the most important human being in her life, there's a lot that you can do to help her through this most challenging transition. In my new book, Dr. Carol's Guide to Women's Health, there's a lot about menopause and the other health issues women deal with at that time of life and in the years to come. I encourage you to get a copy, perhaps for your wife, but also for you. There's a lot of things in here that can help you understand what she may be dealing with and hopefully give your wife some insight into other things that she can do to improve her well-being. You can find Dr. Carol's Guide to Women's Health on our website, drcarolministries.com. You can find it on Amazon or wherever books are sold. And I encourage you to get a copy. If you have a question that you'd like me to ask, do write to me. I love to hear from you. You can send your question to drcarolministries.com/contact us.
So I said it was going to be very short. Like I say, I want to concentrate more on the comments, which we'll just get stuck straight into now. So let's have a look. I'm trying to see where I can see the comments on here. I think I'll be able to see them on here. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can't. There we go. These are the comments. Yeah, here we go. So let's have a look. Where can we see the comments on here? I was reading the comments earlier on, and this, like I said, this is what kind of literally. There we go. Is that it? This is what literally. It was the comments that literally took me to them. I'm trying to find them, and I can't find them now. Sod's law, isn't it? No, that's not. It's just other things that I've been reading. Don't want it. No, don't want that. Apologies. I should have had all this ready. Put full screen, see if that'll make it any easier. Now I can't find them. Sod's law, isn't it? Tell you what I'm going to do. We'll click on it here. What was your Dr. Carol? And what was it called? Let's see if I can do it this way. Dr. Carol, frustrated husband. Let's see if that'll come up on here. And then I just it's more of the comments that I'm wanting to discuss, because like I said, that was what drew me to this. There we go. So we'll pause there. Apologies for that. So let's just read some of them. My wife went from loving, sexually responsive, caring, empathetic, compassionate, and gentle to cold. It's so very different for me to get used to this, but it feels like the lady I knew is gone for good. You know what? It is extremely sad. Hopefully you'll still seeing all of that. It is, and I get it. It is extremely difficult for the husband, and it's extremely sad for the husband as well. It's, I mean, how can I explain this? It's, you know, you say, so for instance, let's go back to that again. Pause that again. It's difficult to get used to, but it feels like the lady I knew was gone for good. You know what? I mean, I don't know how long you'd been married for. However, that lady probably has gone. You may have married her when she was a lot younger. She might have looked at things differently. So yes, she has kind of changed, and the fact that take away the scientific side of it, she is going to change because she's getting older. But I'm trying to read some of them that really kind of threw us. You talk nonstop about how the wife feels and what she's going through, and very little about the husband. And then somebody else is because they don't care. A marriage is a union of two into one. I thought I heard her mention a younger one. Blah 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 blah. So I get it. I get that yous are getting frustrated, but you have to understand that this is not something that we can prevent. This is, and I please don't think for 1 minute that I am comparing menopause to cancer, because I'm not. It's two completely separate things. However, if your wife was going through cancer and she couldn't have sex with you because of this, would you be as frustrated? And that's a genuine question. Would you be as kind of as blunt as this. Um, I mean, let me read some of them. Uh, I came to this video looking for help, and all I learned was that I needed to deal with it because she's the one who really needs help. What a joke this video is. Yeah, she needs help. Let me give you a little bit of advice. There's another one. She don't want to touch me anymore, and it makes me feel like she doesn't love me. Totally understand that. Um, who the hell wants to deal with this? Tell me about it. I'm just reading that. So, ever since my wife started menopause, she's changed so much. The woman I thought I knew for over 20 years has become very cold hearted, very distant. It has ruined our marriage, and sex is the farthest thing from her mind. I've already expressed my concern. She told me I may have to find someone else for that. She just didn't want to hear about it. Those were her exact words. So, I have no choice but to go outside the marriage and get some relief. So, I must ask, why did God make women this way? Warm her up is another one. Once she's gotten to this point, give up, guys. The woman you once knew is gone forever. Move on, no matter how painful. Find another. Wow. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But after reading comments like that, women don't want we've lost our libido. We've lost. It's like taking away a man's testosterone, right? Testosterone is what makes men go grrr and want to grab their wife, by the hair and say to her. Not very romantic, but you know where I'm coming from. Now, can you imagine we take all of your testosterone, because that's what makes you horny, is the word basically. We took all that away and you didn't want it anymore. And then as your wife, we were like, just give up on him now. Another thing, let me talk about this then. When a man gets to a certain age and he finds it difficult to get an erection, he finds it difficult for it to, stay like that. A woman, or a woman who is totally in love with her husband and wants to be supportive of her husband. And you know what? I'm not speaking on behalf of women, actually. I'm going to speak on behalf of me. Okay, I don't know about other women, but I know how I'm looking at it. If my husband had a problem in that department, would I be sitting here going, I'm leaving him? I'm gonna go and find a new one. Not in the slightest. I didn't marry my husband because I wanted to have sex. We had a fantastic sex life until I went into the menopause. And it just infuriates me to think that no wonder your wife doesn't want to sleep with you. Because if you're not supporting her, why, and when I say supporting her, so I came up with an idea for a video to try, because I think visual videos are a lot better. That you can get in somebody's mind with a visual video. And I'd come up with an idea of a scene of, just picture this, a woman cooking away in the kitchen or whatever, and all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, she bursts into tears. That's her hormones going crazy, all right? That's what, is going on, basically. And if you haven't seen the scientific side of menopause, please go and have a look at some of my videos, because it will fascinate you and probably shock you. And you'll probably think, oh my gosh, no wonder she is the way she is. So I literally, when I was married to my husband, this is one of the reasons I had to leave my husband, because he just didn't understand it. Was sorry, I was doing the video, wasn't I? Either see, it's another thing, you lose your train of thought. So this video idea, just to capture, was this woman in a kitchen cooking meals, just suddenly bursts out in tears for no reason whatsoever. The first version of the video is the husband gets irritated because it's like, here she goes again. She's being a drama queen. She's crying, and I get it. You're frustrated. I get it. And your frustration times 1,000,001 for us, okay? Because we're physically going through the pain. We're physically going through these changes. You're just seeing the changes. We're feeling them, okay? And it isn't just, oh, I don't fancy a bit of sex. I'm talking about pains in every single joint. I'm talking about headaches. I'm talking about mind changes, mood swings, up and down. I could sit here all day going on about different things. So then the next part of the video is he's getting irritated, tells her to just go and have a lie down and get out of her mood. So she kind of climbs up the stairs in pain because every time I go up every single step, my knee will hurt, the back of the heel will hurt, and it's all to do with lack of estrogen. And then the next thing, she climbs into her bed in the, on her own, on her side, just in a ball, and just sobs and sobs. And she doesn't know what she's sobbing for. She knows she's unhappy. Trust me, she wants to get her sex drive back. She wants to get her groove back. But she physically can't. She just physically cannot do it, or mentally. So that was the first video. The second video that I wanted to kind of put comparison with is the lady starting in the kitchen and starting to cry. But the difference is he doesn't get irritated with her. He just gets a hold of her hand and says, go and have a lie down. Just go and have a lie down, and I'm going to bring you a cup of tea upstairs. She goes up the stairs, climbs into her bed again, climbs on the side, and just sobs and sobs and sobs. But the next bit, the husband comes up with a cup of tea, puts it on the bedside cabinet, doesn't say a word, just climbs in next to her, gets her in his arms, and just spoons her. Just spoon, doesn't say a word, doesn't say you're going to be all right, doesn't say, and just cuddles her. And that's all we need. We don't want, you can't fix us. You can't try and fix us because we cannot even fix ourselves at the minute. So nobody else can. This is, yes, we can get things to help us like HRT, learning how to eat correctly, which I'm going to be doing videos on that as well soon. But this is something that is out of our control. If we snap at you, it's not because we don't love you. It's just because we're frustrated. We're frustrated the fact that, and half of the time, because of my brain fog, I can't express my feelings right. It comes up a little bit like gibberish. You've probably noticed in half the videos, I'll jump from one thing to another because that's how muddled my mind is right now. And it has been for the last 4 years, because, in fact, longer, 6 years now, because that's how long I've been going through perimenopause for now. So I'm not going to sit here and lecture you men and say, this is what you've got to do. I understand it is frustrating. But I think if she knows that you are genuinely supporting her, and not just supporting her because you've got to support her because, she's going through this midlife crisis thing, genuinely care about her. If you understand the scientific side of it, men, I genuinely, honestly believe that you would cut us a little bit of slack. I know a lot of men do out there. I'm not saying every man is like these men in the comments. Of course they're not. But, like for me, for instance, like I'm in the middle of going through a divorce right now. We were extremely happy. There's other issues in my marriage, which obviously I'm not going to discuss. I might in a later video. There was addiction involved on my husband's behalf and things like that. And it was just I couldn't, by keeping him afloat through his issues, I'm drowning even more whilst going through menopause. So it was very difficult, but it got to a stage of where he was so bored with how poorly I was. He was so over it, and I had no support. A little, an example is I collapsed one day at work. I had a really, really, really bad panic attack, and it got that bad that I ended up collapsing and fainted. It was totally gone. I woke up in an ambulance. I got took to hospital. I'd rang my husband, told him where I was in tears, and he said he was going to come straight to the hospital from work. He's going to come straight down. He didn't. He went back home. He potted around at home, etc. He did eventually come into the hospital. I'm just in bits. I'm just in a ball. I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know why I'm changing. At one point I thought I was having a nervous breakdown, which I was, but it was through the menopause. And he then left to go back home because he was hungry. So left me sitting in the, on this gurney on my own, and I just was completely lost. And, I just thought, where's my support? Anyway, I walked home from the hospital. I don't live too far, probably a 10-minute walk. He was supposed to come and collect us. He never did. So I walked home myself. I got into bed. And the next thing I knew, 10 minutes later, he was coming up and he said, I'm going to go round to the lads and have a pint. I was a bit I was a bit hurt because I just thought I need you here. But I just figured it wasn't worth arguing. I didn't have the energy to argue with him. I didn't have the energy to explain. I just spent the whole day in hospital. And, he said, I'll be an hour or so. He left at 7:30 and strolled in at 3:00 in the morning. So that to me is not supporting me. That to me is, why would I want to have sex with somebody who just thinks that little of me? So and I'm not saying you've done that to your wife. I'm not. I'm trying to just explain to you, the last thing on a woman's mind is sex. She probably hates herself. If she hates herself and she hates looking at herself, the thought of, especially weight gain, and I know it sounds stupid, it's superficial thing. It's not in a woman's head, especially if she's gone through all her life kind of being quite fit and healthy and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden she's put all this weight on through menopause. You don't see me without a t-shirt on or jammies on or anything like that, because I hate looking at my body. If I hate looking at my body, the thought of somebody else looking at my body, even my husband, who I adored and was on such a pedestal, and that was the reason I stayed with him as long as I did, even when I was hurting and he was hurting me. It's the last thing I want to do is get intimate with you. How can I get intimate with someone that doesn't see me anymore? It is a very, 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 very rocky road. And I, like I say, I'm not saying all men are like this, and I'm not saying, that it isn't difficult for you guys. Of course it is. The key to this is communication. The key to it is allowing your wife to tell you what's going on and what she's feeling. Don't try and fix her. Don't, I used to start saying, well, for instance, I would say, well, sometimes I just feel a bit lonely and in my own head. And then and I'd go to say the next bit, and then, but I try and blah, and that's what he'd come back. And it isn't an attack at you. I can't help the way I feel. And I'm just trying to explain to you how I feel. I don't want you to fix this. I want you to go away and think, my goodness, if she feels like that, how difficult it must be for her. And just sit next to us and say, I'm really sorry, I just didn't understand that this is how it was for you. It's like, okay, it's like me saying, yeah, I will never, ever, ever, ever be able to feel the pain of what you men feel of getting kicked in the knackers. Okay, kicked in the goalies, kicked in the nether regions, right? I would never, ever be able to understand that pain. I know it'll be painful, but I can't understand it. And that's the thing, you guys are always, you don't know what it's like to be. You're right, I don't. And I never will. And it's the same with menopause. I think the generations before us, we have been the butt of men's jokes through menopause. And thank goodness that's all starting to stop now. And people are starting to realize that this is a medical thing, but we're still a million years behind. And I can't wait for the day. And I hope it comes very soon. So my daughter, who was 27, I don't want her to go through this. I wouldn't put my worst enemy through what I've been in the last 6 years. But anyway, I just wanted to come on with this video because I was just a little bit I was just a little bit misunderstood when I read those comments. Let me know what you think. Am I talking a load of rubbish? And do you, as a man, think I'm talking a lot of rubbish? And just leave your comments. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. But yes, I'll put all the details of the original clip in the bottom, and yeah, thank you for jumping in bed with me, and thank you for snuggling up, and hopefully I'll see you in a couple of days. Nighty night, sleep tight, don't let the beddy bugs bite. See you.